The ocean is one of the most mysterious and mesmerizing places on Earth. It stretches endlessly beyond the horizon, covering more than 70% of the planet's surface, yet remains one of the least understood environments known to humanity. Beneath its rolling waves lives a world so diverse and astonishing that scientists have already identified more than 34,000 species of fish alone, ranging from tiny, shimmering swimmers to massive ocean giants. And still, experts believe this number barely scratches the surface of what actually exists below. Despite its size, humans have explored only a small fraction of the ocean's depths, less than 5%. That means the vast majority of this underwater world remains hidden, untouched, and unseen by human eyes. What we think we know about ocean life comes mostly from shallow waters, coral reefs, and coastlines, places where sunlight reaches and life appears familiar. Colorful and vibrant dot when we imagine fish. We usually picture cheerful and beautiful creatures. Bright orange clownfish weaving playfully through sea anemones. Parrotfish crunching coral with their beak-like mouths, unknowingly creating sandy beaches grain by grain. Graceful angelfish gliding through reefs, decorated with bold patterns and radiant colors that look as though they were painted by an artist. These fish feel alive with personality. Their colors are loud, their shapes elegant, and their movements confident. They exist in a world filled with light, warmth, and visibility, a world that feels welcoming, even magical. But this familiar image of ocean life changes dramatically the deeper you go. As you descend further below the surface, past depths where sunlight can no longer reach, the ocean transforms into something entirely different. Colors disappear, warmth fades, pressure increases to crushing levels. The environment becomes cold, dark, and unforgiving. And in response, the creatures that live there evolve into forms that appear strange, alien, and even terrifying to us. Fish in the deep ocean don't look cute or friendly. They look built for survival at any cost. Their bodies are often rough, spiked, or oddly shaped. Their eyes may be enormous, designed to capture the smallest trace of light, or completely absent in species that have no use for vision at all. Their mouths are wide and armed with sharp, needle-like teeth, ready to seize any opportunity for food in a place where meals are rare. This drastic contrast between shallow water beauty and deep sea horror raises a fascinating question. Why do fish stop looking cute as the ocean gets deeper? The answer lies in the environment itself. Near the surface, sunlight pours into the water, allowing plants and microscopic organisms to grow through photosynthesis. This creates a rich and active ecosystem where food is abundant, temperatures are relatively stable, and visibility allows creatures to communicate through color and pattern. Fish living here use bright colors not just for beauty, but for survival. Vivid patterns help them blend into coral reefs, confuse predators, attract mates, and signal warnings. Their appearance is part of a visual language, shaped by millions of years of evolution in a well-lit world. Some fish even use color to disappear in plain sight. An angelfish's stripes break up its outline against coral shadows. A school of shimmering fish can confuse predators by reflecting light in every direction. In these waters, being seen can be just as important as hiding. This is the part of the ocean humans know best. It's the layer we snorkel in, film documentaries about, and recreate in aquariums. It's no coincidence that this is where most beautiful fish live. This is where beauty actually matters. But just below this familiar realm, the ocean begins to grow dim. Light weakens. Temperatures drop and visibility fades into a shadowy blue. This is where survival starts to demand different solutions. Bright colors lose their purpose here. Red, orange, and yellow vanish first, swallowed by the darkness. Eventually, everything looks blue or black. In this strange half-lit world, fish no longer rely on color to communicate or hide. Instead, They evolve entirely new tools. One of the most extraordinary adaptations found here is the ability to produce light. Some fish develop special organs that glow in the darkness, creating their own illumination in a place where the sun can no longer help them. This natural glow, known as bioluminescence, becomes the new language of the deep. Small fish covered in glowing dots drift through the darkness like living constellations. These lights can serve many purposes: communication, camouflage, or deception. Some species use light to blend in with the faint glow coming from above, erasing their silhouette so predators below can't see them. Others flash specific patterns to recognize members of their own species in the dark. One of the most common inhabitants of this shadowy region is a tiny, unassuming fish whose importance far outweighs its size. Covered in glowing spots, it looks almost mechanical, like something designed rather than born. Every night, millions of these fish rise toward the surface to feed, only to sink back into darkness by day. This daily migration is one of the largest animal movements on Earth. Yet it happens silently and invisibly beneath the waves. Not all glowing creatures use light defensively. Some use it as a weapon. Among the most infamous predators of the deep is a fish that has become the symbol of oceanic horror. With a massive head, jagged teeth, and a mouth large enough to swallow prey nearly its own size, it waits motionless in the dark. From its forehead dangles a glowing lure, gently swaying like a tiny lantern dot to unsuspecting prey. This light looks like food dot by the time they realize the truth. It's already too late. This predator doesn't chase. It doesn't need speed or strength. In a world where energy is precious and food is scarce, patience is the deadliest strategy of all. When prey comes close enough, the jaws snap shut, ending the hunt in a single motion dot to maximize each rare meal. This fish can stretch its jaws and stomach far beyond what seems physically possible, allowing it to consume animals larger than itself. Nothing goes to waste in the deep, yet even in this harsh environment, not every creature is a ruthless hunter. Some look terrifying but are surprisingly gentle. One such creature has a name that suggests horror, yet lives a quiet and almost delicate existence. With enormous eyes that dominate its face, it floats silently through the water, feeding not on live prey but on tiny particles drifting down from above dead plankton. Waste and organic debris known as marine snow. Despite its fearsome appearance, it relies on stealth and clever tricks rather than aggression. When threatened, it performs a bizarre display, turning its arms outward to reveal glowing patterns that confuse predators and make it appear larger and more dangerous than it really is dot in this dim world. Appearances are deceiving dot as the ocean grows deeper still. Darkness becomes absolute. Sunlight no longer exists. The only light comes from living creatures themselves. Temperatures stabilize at near freezing levels, and pressure becomes so intense it would crush unprotected humans instantly. Here, survival is about efficiency. Fish in this realm often lack vibrant colors entirely, appearing black or transparent. Their bodies are streamlined, minimalistic, and energy-saving. Movement is slow and deliberate. Every motion costs energy, and energy is life. Some creatures develop massive mouths to take advantage of rare feeding opportunities. Others grow long, flexible bodies that drift with the currents, conserving strength. Many have fragile bones or cartilage-like skeletons that allow them to withstand immense pressure without snapping. Occasionally, even animals from the surface visit these depths. Massive whales plunge into the darkness on deep hunting dives, chasing squid and other prey. Their presence is brief but dramatic, like giants passing through an alien world. Among the true residents of this dark realm are creatures that seem almost unreal. Eel-like predator moves with slow, serpent-like waves, its narrow body nearly invisible against the blackness. Its most striking feature is its mouth, enormous, expandable, and capable of opening wide enough to engulf prey in a single gulp. Rather than chasing food, it simply opens its jaws and swallows whatever happens to be nearby. Another strange inhabitant resembles something from a science fiction nightmare. With long, thread-like arms stretching far beyond its body, it drifts motionless, using its limbs like a net. Anything that brushes against these delicate strands becomes trapped. The deeper you go, the fewer creatures you find. Life becomes rarer, fragile, and highly specialized. And yet, it doesn't disappear. Far below, where pressure reaches unimaginable levels and temperatures hover just above freezing, a final group of extraordinary survivors exists. These creatures live in a world so extreme that even most deep-sea animals cannot survive there. Their shapes are simple, their movements slow, their bodies are soft and adapted to withstand crushing force. Here, beauty is no longer about color or design. It's about endurance. Some fish here appear oddly smooth and almost friendly compared to their spiky relatives above. Others look misshapen when brought to the surface, their bodies collapsing without the pressure they evolved to live under. These creatures aren't ugly by nature. They are perfectly formed for a world humans were never meant to enter. Even at the deepest points of the ocean, life finds a way. Tiny organisms survive where nothing else should. Simple creatures thrive in silence and darkness, proving that life is far more resilient than we once believed. Perhaps the reason deep-sea fish look frightening to us is not because they are monsters, but because they reflect an environment that is completely opposite to our own. A place without light, without warmth, without abundance. In the end, the ocean reminds us that beauty is not universal. It is shaped by surroundings, necessity, and survival. What looks terrifying in our world may be perfectly normal in another. As the descent into the ocean continues, the feeling of isolation becomes overwhelming. The water grows heavier, colder, and quieter. Sound travels differently here, and movement feels slowed, as if the ocean itself resists every action. In this deep, eternal night, survival is no longer about speed or beauty. It is about patience, efficiency, and using as little energy as possible. Food is incredibly scarce in these depths. Unlike the upper ocean, where life is fueled by sunlight and thriving ecosystems, the deep sea survives on leftovers. Tiny particles drift down endlessly from above dead plankton, waste, broken shells, and organic fragments. This constant snowfall of debris becomes the foundation of life in the darkness. Creatures that live here have adapted to this reality in astonishing ways. Many have learned to survive on almost nothing. Their muscles are weak but efficient, their movements slow but deliberate. Some barely move at all, floating silently in the water column, waiting for anything to pass by. One of the most remarkable residents of this deep world is a fish that seems almost unreal when first seen. Its body is long and narrow, its skin dark as the surrounding water, and its eyes small, as vision is of little use here. But its mouth is enormous, far too large for its body, and can open wide enough to engulf prey nearly as big as itself. Instead of chasing food, this fish uses strategy. It drifts quietly, conserving energy, until the perfect moment arrives. When prey comes close, its jaws open like a living trap, swallowing water and victim together. In a place where meals are rare, this ability can mean the difference between life and death. Nearby, another strange creature moves in complete contrast. With long, thread-like arms stretching far from its body, it looks less like an animal and more like a living structure drifting in the dark. These delicate limbs spread outward, forming a wide net. Any small creature that touches them becomes entangled, unable to escape. This method of hunting requires no chase, no struggle, only patience. In the deep ocean, patience is often the most powerful weapon. As pressure increases, many fish abandon traditional bone structures entirely. Instead, their bodies become soft, flexible, and gelatinous. This allows them to survive the crushing weight of the water above them. What might look weak or fragile to us is actually a perfect solution to an otherwise deadly environment. At these depths, even giants from the surface make rare appearances. Massive whales plunge thousands of feet into the darkness on hunting dives, holding their breath as they chase squid and fish through pitch-black waters. These dives are short but intense, a reminder that even creatures of the sunlit world occasionally rely on the deep, yet whales are only visitors. Here, the true inhabitants are creatures that spend their entire lives without ever seeing sunlight. Some fish in this region glow faintly, their bioluminescence acting like a soft whisper of light in the darkness. Others remain completely black, absorbing every trace of light to avoid being seen. Their skin reflects almost nothing, making them nearly invisible even when light touches them. This invisibility is not accidental. In a place where predators use light to hunt, being unseen is the ultimate defense. As the ocean floor draws nearer, the environment becomes even more unforgiving. Temperatures remain near freezing, never rising or falling significantly. The water pressure reaches levels that would crush steel. And yet, life persists. Here, evolution strips creatures down to their essentials. Bright colors are gone. Decorative fins disappear. Eyes shrink or vanish entirely. What remains are forms built purely for survival. Some fish develop transparent bodies, allowing them to blend seamlessly into the darkness. Others possess razor-sharp teeth that curve inward, ensuring that once prey enters the mouth, escape is impossible. Many of these predators don't even chew, they swallow their victims whole, saving energy and time. One of the most fascinating hunters in this deep world uses light in a way that feels almost unfair. Its body is sleek and dark, barely visible against the surrounding water. Beneath its chin dangles a thin, glowing strand, pulsing gently like a living beacon. Curious prey, drawn to the light, swim closer, unaware of the danger waiting just behind the glow. When the moment is right, the predator strikes. Its jaws open wide, revealing transparent teeth that catch the light just long enough to reflect a final warning, one that comes too late. Some species here take survival to an even stranger extreme. The males of certain deep-sea fish are so specialized that they no longer hunt or eat at all. Their sole purpose is to find a female. Once they do, they attach themselves permanently, fusing their bodies together. Over time, the male becomes little more than a living extension of the female, providing reproductive cells while she provides nourishment. In a world where encounters are rare, this strategy ensures that reproduction can happen whenever the opportunity arises. Strange as it may seem, this is not cruelty, it is efficiency. As we descend further, the number of species decreases dramatically. Life becomes sparse, scattered, and incredibly difficult. The creatures that remain are specialists, each perfectly adapted to a narrow set of conditions. And then, beyond this already extreme environment, the ocean reveals its deepest secret. Below lies a realm so hostile that even many deep-sea animals cannot survive there. It is a place of absolute darkness, immense pressure, and freezing temperatures, a world untouched by sunlight, storms, or seasons. Yet even here, life refuses to surrender. Fish found at these depths often appear almost delicate, with smooth bodies and soft features. They lack the menacing spikes and oversized teeth of their shallower relatives. Instead, they rely on simplicity. Their bodies are designed to withstand pressure rather than fight predators. When brought to the surface, these creatures often lose their shape, collapsing under conditions they were never meant to endure. What looks grotesque to us is actually a tragic consequence of removing them from the environment that gives them form. This is why many deep-sea animals cannot survive outside their natural habitat. They are not built for our world. They are built for another. Even organisms that don't resemble animals as we know them thrive here. Strange, stationary life forms have abandoned passive feeding methods and become hunters themselves. They trap tiny creatures that drift too close, slowly digesting them in silence. This deep ocean is not empty. It is simply quiet. Every movement matters. Every adaptation tells a story of survival against impossible odds. These creatures are not mistakes of nature. They are masterpieces of evolution, shaped by pressure, darkness, and time. As humans, it's easy to label these animals as ugly, scary, or unnatural. But in truth, they are perfectly suited to a world that demands everything and gives almost nothing in return. Perhaps the deep sea looks terrifying because it reflects something we fear: complete isolation, endless darkness, and the reminder that life can exist in ways we don't fully understand. At the deepest reaches of the ocean, the idea of time itself begins to lose meaning. There is no sunrise or sunset here. No seasons, no warmth. The water remains permanently cold, hovering just above freezing, and the darkness is so complete that even the concept of color becomes irrelevant. In this eternal night, life moves slowly, deliberately, and with incredible purpose. This region of the ocean is shaped by pressure so intense it defies imagination. The weight of miles of water above presses down relentlessly, enough to crush submarines and shatter steel. And yet, against all logic, living creatures endure. They do not fight the pressure. They adapt to it. Fish that inhabit these depths often look almost unfinished to the human eye. Their bodies are soft, their bones reduced or absent entirely. Many rely on cartilage or flexible tissue instead of rigid skeletons. This allows them to exist where hardness would mean destruction. Strength in this world is not about muscle, it is about surrendering to the environment rather than resisting it. Some of the deepest living fish ever discovered appear surprisingly calm and simple. Their shapes are smooth, their features subtle. They lack the terrifying lures and oversized teeth of their cousins higher in the water column. Down here, being frightening no longer provides an advantage. There are too few predators, too few encounters, and too little energy available to waste on intimidation. Instead, these fish drift gently above the ocean floor, conserving every bit of strength. Their metabolism is slow, their movements minimal. Many feed on whatever organic material settles from above, patiently waiting for nourishment to arrive rather than actively seeking it out. In this environment, even survival feels like an act of endurance rather than aggression. One of the most misunderstood creatures associated with the deep sea perfectly illustrates this truth. When seen in its natural habitat, it appears well-formed and perfectly adapted. Its body is supported by the immense pressure surrounding it, giving it structure and shape. But when removed from that environment and brought to the surface, it transforms into something unrecognizable. Its body collapses, its features distort, and it becomes a symbol of ugliness in popular culture. In reality, this creature was never meant to exist in our world. Its appearance is not a flaw. It is a consequence of specialization so extreme that it can survive only where humans cannot. This is a recurring theme throughout the deep ocean. Many of its inhabitants are so finely tuned to their environment that exposure to surface conditions is fatal. Light, warmth, and low-pressure things we consider normal are deadly to them. Even the simplest organisms here tell a powerful story. Tiny life forms survive buried within deep-sea sediments, enduring conditions that would sterilize most environments on Earth. They move slowly, reproduce slowly, and exist quietly, proving that life does not require abundance, only persistence. The deeper we look, the clearer it becomes that the ocean is not divided by beauty and ugliness, but by necessity. Near the surface, where light is abundant and life is competitive, evolution favors color, speed, and visual complexity. Fish advertise themselves with patterns, communicate through movement, and rely on sight to navigate their world. Beauty has function there, but in the deep, beauty becomes irrelevant. There's no one to impress, no light to reflect color, no room for waste. Every adaptation must serve a purpose. Every feature must justify its energy cost. Anything unnecessary is stripped away over generations, leaving behind creatures that appear strange only because they are honest reflections of their environment. In many ways, these deep-sea animals are more efficient than anything found above. They waste nothing. They panic rarely. They survive where survival should be impossible. Humans, standing at the surface, often look down into the darkness with fear. We imagine monsters lurking below, waiting to rise from the depths. But this fear says more about us than it does about the ocean. The deep sea is not evil. It is indifferent. It does not reward courage or punish weakness. It simply exists, and those who adapt remain. Perhaps that is why deep-sea creatures unsettle us so deeply. They challenge our idea of what life should look like. They remind us that our world filled with light, warmth, and comfort is only one version of reality among many. If humans had evolved in total darkness, under crushing pressure, feeding on scraps drifting from an unseen sky, we would look just as strange. And yet, despite everything, the deep ocean is not lifeless. It breathes slowly. It moves quietly. It waits. With every expedition, every deep sea dive, and every new discovery, we realize how little we truly know. Entire ecosystems remain unexplored. Countless species remain unseen. The ocean still guards its secrets carefully, revealing them only to those who venture far beyond the familiar. What lies beneath the waves is not just a collection of bizarre creatures. It is a mirror, one that reflects the adaptability of life itself, from colorful reef fish dancing in sunlight to silent hunters drifting in eternal night. The ocean shows us that life can take many forms. Some are beautiful, some are terrifying, and some exist beyond our understanding entirely. In the end, perhaps the deep sea isn't meant to be fully understood. Perhaps it is meant to remind us of our place in the natural world, small, curious, and endlessly fascinated by what lies just beyond our reach. And maybe that is what makes the ocean so mesmerizing, not because it is familiar, but because it is not.